What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, coming off a loss, ALCS won. The Yankees fell to the Houston Astros. First of all, before we break down the game, how are you feeling?
I'm not well, and I was just saying this to you before. I'm not down per se, but I'm certainly not happy, while going into a James and Tyone versus Justin Verlander, which Tyone fared pretty damn well. I think we all should be pretty happy with what we got out of him. But, going into game one, I wasn't expecting much. Like if I were to, choose unbiased loss or a win, I probably would have predicted loss just from going off the pitching matchup alone. So, you know, I went into this expecting that. But no matter what, losing game one of a series isn't fun. So I'm not in like the chirpiest of moods, but it's a long series, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of feeling the same way you are. Like, I wasn't necessarily like going into this game expecting a win. However, it's like, yo, if you could have stolen a win in game one, especially with Verlander on the mound, I think we would have felt like uberly confident in this series. However, like they didn't. And I think the most frustrating part about it was like there was numerous chances for them to steal this game, right? And I feel like it was kind of just handed to the Astros. The way I kind of like feel about this game is it didn't feel real. Like it didn't feel like ALCS game one. And one thing that I do want to say before we kind of like break down the game itself, I don't know if it's just me, bro. The vibe in Houston felt so off. Like the crowd wasn't into it whatsoever. I remember like in past years when we would be in Houston for postseason games, it would be an insane atmosphere. It didn't really feel like that tonight. I don't know if it's the TBS broadcast or what, but did you get those vibes too?
I didn't know. I was gonna say I disagree with you, but I will say the TBS, like the audio levels, I was complaining with them during the ALDS for Yankee Stadium. I thought that it seemed a lot lower than normal, so it could be something on TBS's end. But no, I thought Minute Maid seemed just as annoying, and I, I won't say that about it, but I don't like playing in Houston, man. I really don't. Minute Maid, I'm not a fan, and I see those fans, and I see like the Astros celebrating in the dugout. And when we're losing, when we're winning, I just look at them, I grind my teeth, clench my jaw, and I'm just thinking to myself, I hate those motherfuckers so much. I
Well,
really do.
all
And
right.
by the way, terrible idea by you to put gum in my mouth before recording.
Okay, wait, what? You
L on
decide to put
L
gum
on
in your mouth.
Pat's end over
No,
there.
no, no, no. L on you for trying to copy me because I usually rock gum. But yo, you could continue.
It was a tough night, man. I don't know, bro. It was a tough night. I hate Minute Maid Park. I hate the Houston Astros. Didn't have a good time. But let me turn to optimism, boy. Now it was just game one. What was our goal? Come out of Houston having won one game. So I'm not going to say that game two is a must win because, mathematically it's not, but you really, really want to win tomorrow night or tonight, game two with Luis Severino on the bump.
You
And
do.
if we do that, then all right, word, I'm feeling damn good. And I'll be honest, like when we went up 1-0, like I tried not to get that excited because I was like, I always relate to past ALCSs. I'm like, we went up 1-0 in game one, lost game two. Maybe this time we could flip it around. We lose game one, we win game two, get the momentum going back to Yankee Stadium. That would be a first against the Astros and ALCS. Game two's
Listen,
huge.
listen, bro. I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is like you said, right? We leave Houston winning one game, we'll be very, very happy. We'll feel still pretty confident in the series. However, like now you go into tomorrow, it's kind of like a must-win game. Because you don't want to go back to the Bronx like down 2-0, because then like you're in danger of not even going back to Houston for a game. The only way you can win the series, it would be in Houston at that point. Because even if you sweep all three Yankee Stadium, like in 2017, then you got to go back to Houston to kind of like cap it off. But the most frustrating part about tonight's game was it was definitely in the Yankees' reach. It wasn't like one of those nights where Verlander looked untouchable, and the Yankees pitching totally collapsed from the start. Like, no, the Yankees had Verlander on the ropes very, very early. If they played their cards right, they could have had him out of the game. Maybe by like the fourth or the fifth, to be completely honest with you. They completely flopped whatever situation they had. I believe it was the third inning. When Stan hit the opposite field double, and then Donaldson put up one of the most putrid at bats I've ever seen. It was a very like 2017 Todd Frazier-esque type of thing, especially with that stupid swing. And then Carpenter came up next, and Carpenter. I mean, I can't even blame the guy because he hasn't had like consistent at bats in months. But it's like he put up like nothing as well. So it's like the Yankees definitely had Verlander on the ropes, and then after that, the offense just completely died. And I sent out a tweet before, and I said that tonight was the perfect example of two things that I'm worried about the most about the Yankees this postseason, and kind of like every postseason, right? And tonight was a perfect example of one, the offense kind of disappearing when it counts the most, right? Like not even competitive at bats, not putting themselves in situations to drive in runs, and two, Aaron Boone's inability to manage a bullpen in close games. Dan, I want to hear what you think about Aaron Boone's bullpen management tonight because you already know where I stand on Boone. I don't trust him managing the bullpen in games like this. You're typically a Boone guy, so I
Yep.
want to hear your thoughts on what happened tonight.
It was terrible, bro. It really was. And at first, it worked out when Clark got that double play. And I tweeted right out, I was like, Clark, way to prove me wrong. Because I didn't feel good about him going into that spot. Once he got out of that, though, I was like, all right, word, man. Like, nice job, but we're going to hand the ball over to somebody else. That's where I thought would be where Trevino came in right away. And then, he does bring in Trevino after Clark blows the game, 2 home runs. He throws just 7 pitches, man. And then he turns the ball over to Frankie Montas, which I was intrigued to see how he would do, which was hilarious because the first batter gives an absolute bomb to Jeremy Pena. But it seemed very much, and this is almost what bothers me more. It's like once we went down by 2 runs, it did almost seem like it was like being punted by Boone a little bit.
Yes.
Now, I can't imagine that's the case, but it's like, yo, even when say Clark is with that first homer, like if you had somebody in by then, a 1-run game's a lot different than a 2-run game. Like, why weren't Loizaga? Why wasn't Wandy or even Holmes? Like, you don't have to bring in these guys only when you have leads. Because ideally, and they were talking about on the TBS broadcast, you bring in your high leverage relievers when you're losing, and they can hold it there, and you can hopefully tie the game back up. Boone, I guess, is just not about that. And yeah, man, was not a fan of the bullpen decisions tonight. Definitely not.
Bro, it was so weird. Like you said, it felt like a punt game. Like it felt like a game in the middle of July where Boone kind of like wants to test out some arms to see like who he's kind of like rocking with moving forward. And like we said, the Yankees only lost by 2 runs tonight. Like that's not like we're talking about game 1 of the ALCS. It was a 2-run deficit. And don't get me wrong, like it was interesting to see what Frankie Montas could do, but in a 2-run game in the ALCS, I'm not sure like that's necessarily the time, especially when you have all those high leverage guys in the bullpen. And then also, I feel like I don't want to say that Boone kind of like had a plan before the game and he stuck to it, but I feel like he did want to use this game where if the Yankees were losing at any point, he did want to use it as kind of like a test to see like, let's see what we could get out of Montas. Let's see what we could get out of Miguel Castro. And I feel like he just kind of ran with that. It's super unfortunate, but these are the types of things that I worry about the most, right? And in terms of like also punting the game as well, in the 9th inning, right? Yankees still only down by 2 outs in the 9th. We all know anything could happen, right? Jose Trevino comes up. There is no reason he should be getting an at bat there. Can we both agree? It reminds me almost identical to the ALDS when that situation where Tim LeCastro got an at bat, right? And then after the game, we heard Boone say it was like a wash of an at bat or whatever that meant. But I feel like I got the same vibe here, right? It seemed like Boone didn't want to pinch hit for Trevino just because it seemed like he was punting it at that point. Like, why bring in Oswaldo to pinch hit for a better matchup, most likely, when the game's over, you know?
Right away when Trevino came up, I tweeted, I was like, why isn't Oswaldo hitting? And then somebody responded to me. They're like, oh, you think he's going to save the game? Well, no, I know. Yeah. All right. It's a solo home run. It's still a 1-run deficit,
He just
but
has to get on
just
base,
hit a
bro. It's a
single and then it
2-run
turns
game.
it right over to the top of the lineup. I didn't understand that at all. And going back to the bullpen, though, real quick, and it's Boone's fault for putting him in, but I just kind of want to talk about him in general. Clark Schmidt cannot get big spots anymore, man. Like I don't even know the last time I had faith in him coming out of the pen into a big spot.
Can I actually mention one tweet that I saw that kind of like described the situation almost perfectly? I'm gonna give this person a shout out at Akiffle. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Kiffle.
They said crazy part is that you don't trust Schmidt all year, send him down 20 times, kill his confidence, and now you expect him to get big outs in the playoffs on the road, make it make sense. I was like, I feel like we kind of forget like the Yankees didn't really rely on Schmidt too much this season to get big outs in big situations. And now in the postseason, it seems like he's kind of strangely been their guy, even though he's been sent up and down all season and wasn't necessarily like that high leverage guy throughout the season for the Yankees, but he is now. So it's really weird that this is the second time now that Schmidt has kind of gone to in a big spot. I can't see it happening again. It just sucks that we kind of like lose another like quote unquote high leverage reliever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that tweet is wrong. I mean, they definitely hadn't used him in like an ideal way for his development or what have you. But still, I think it's more so like the way I see it. Dude, his stuff isn't that good to me. Like, and that's purely eye tests. And obviously, he's a first round draft pick, like can probably be a solid pitcher in baseball, but like watching him, I just couldn't imagine him getting outs. And when he got that double play, like that was God blessing us, in my opinion. Like at the time, it felt like an absolute pure miracle. It
Do
really
you
did.
think it's like a personality thing? Because like, don't get me wrong, like, he's a very like vanilla type of person. You know what I mean?
I don't think
Like,
that's it.
or are we saying like
I
there's
know what
no
you're.
dog in him?
I know, like I think that can apply to like other players, but like for me with Schmidt, once again, it's purely just like none of his pitches ever wow me. You know what I mean? Like, is he that
Sure.
impressive of a pitcher to be bringing in against the Houston Astros in a bases
Yeah,
loaded
but would
jam
we
or
be
first and
saying
second
that
net?
if he was like decent this post? Like, were we? I wasn't really thinking that
Well, if he
before this
had better
postseason.
stuff than I'm describing, I think he would be decent. Yes. Well, no,
I know,
because
but was that a thought in your mind during the regular
Clark,
season
man, yes, yes,
that
100%
that
yes.
his stuff didn't like wow you?
No, I mean, yeah, not in a way that he should be brought in high level situations like he was tonight.
But
He
that's what I'm saying.
was
So if he wasn't that guy in the regular season, then why would he be that guy in the playoffs?
well, they give him some chances. I know what you're saying. And I'll say this: the way Casher looked tonight, I think automatically he has to go above. And now,
Sure.
granted, it's one inning, but like he just looked solid. He did. He got a couple swings and misses, and then some ground balls right away. I think he has to be above Schmidt. Even Domingo
He is.
Herman, he's still out there. He has to be above Schmidt.
Okay, but that's another thing, right? Like we're looking at the bullpen management from tonight, and I think that's kind of like the story of the night. Like the bullpen management is kind of like how I feel like we lost the game. Like if you want to like put a full blame on it, I'd probably go that direction just because it's like, if you were gonna go Trevino at any point, why would he not be coming in before Schmidt? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's the same scenario where it's like ALDS game 2 when I was like, well, if you have all these other guys available in the bullpen, why is Tyone the first guy coming out of the bullpen? It just seems like Boone has like a list of guys that he wants to use, but he doesn't have any idea in what order he wants to use them. So it's kind of just like pick a card and see who goes out.
Do you remember the pathway to victory that I laid out yesterday? I said if Tyone could get you through 5, that would be amazing. Pat, how would this sound to you if this is how tonight went? Well, Tyone got you 4 and a third, and then Schmidt, miracle, thank God, double play. 5 innings, it was a 1-1 game. How much better would it have been if Trevino got the 6th, Loaiza got the 7th, Holmes got the 8th, Wandy got the 9th. And if we lost
That's
that
what I'm
way,
saying.
fuck it. And then we would just still blame the offense, we kind of already are regardless. But yeah, no, I'm a Boone guy. I am, but tonight was pretty damn bad. And
This game was managed very, very, very conservatively, like even in Boone standards, super
yeah, and I
conservatively,
usually don't
bro.
have it in me to watch the post games like after they lose, at least a big game like this, because once again, I'm kind of down, but I'm very interested to see what his quotes are about what his
It's gonna
reasoning
be
was
the same
behind that.
stuff as usual, bro. Like it's not gonna be anything taking account. There's not gonna be any accountability taken for anything. I mean,
Well, I mean,
there never is.
I imagine he's gonna stand. I would still honestly hope that. Like, I want to get a concrete answer. Like, what was your actual reasoning behind what you did, and especially for the Oswaldo thing, not pinch hitting him for Trevino. Tonight was confusing, man. It really was.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Boone, terribly managed game tonight. I don't think there's any kind of arguing that, even from like the biggest Boone fanboys out there. I would like to see some sort of explanations, maybe within the next 24 hours or so. I don't know. But now the only thing we can kind of do is look forward to game 2, right? Because the way I'm viewing this is very similar to, I don't know, game 3 of the ALDS, except not as heartbreaking. The Yankees could easily show up tomorrow going up against Framber Valdez, and the offense could show up. Sevy could shove. Boone could manage the bullpen properly, and maybe not punt tonight's game. Dude, we get
I
that
know we
together.
gotta
I'm not
like,
gonna lie.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the Yankees could easily show back up tomorrow. I think it's just concerning, bro. It's concerning how iffy the offense is, but I guess you can make an argument it was Joseph Verlander. But still, how are we feeling going into tonight's game?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to get confused. I'm not concerned yet or anything. I'm frustrated, and for those who like are new to the way I am about games, like when the Yankees lose, like this is just how I am. Like I'm low energy, bummed out. But by the time you guys actually are seeing this, which is going to be Thursday morning, I'll just chalk it up as another loss. I'll be ready to go for game 2. Sevy versus Framber Valdez. Great pitching matchup, probably the most even out of the whole series. It should be a good one. And, we ideally will have a better chance against Valdez than we did Verlander because, man, he really kind of owned us tonight. But just got to win tomorrow. Come away with a split in Houston and then take home field advantage. Best of 5 series with 3 at Yankee Stadium. Judge, by
This
the
is
way, has to
off
pick it up.
topic. I do want to talk about that for a second, but do we know who would start game 5?
It would probably
Would it be
be
Tyone?
Tyone, yeah.
Interesting.
No. Because that would mean we'd have 5 starters. So it'd probably be
No, Nestor's game 4.
The off day though. So that means it probably would be Sevy.
Well, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah,
but either
whatever.
way, the Yankees definitely have like more favorable pitching matchups looking ahead. But yeah, we could take a second to talk about Aaron Judge. First of all, like start off with a little bright spot, bro. His catch today
That was one of the
insane.
best postseason catches in baseball history.
Unreal, bro. But as far as offensively, I know, I'm kind of getting major 2020 postseason vibes from Judge this year, bro. You remember 2020 when it seemed like the only time he would ever do something, when it would be like a beautiful solo shot or something? That's exactly
he had big
what
home
we've
runs,
seen.
but that was kind of all he did.
Yeah,
there's honestly
that's
nothing
exactly
for me
what we've
really
seen
to
this
even
year.
like comment on it because like he just has to be better, and I anticipate that he will be. He's Aaron Judge, and even if he doesn't hit, he still provides the value that we saw in game 1. Diving play, really really nice catch, and that was huge, man. I was so sure that was a 2-run double, like automatic. Like I almost like closed my eyes, but yeah, no, got to be better. Man, I anticipate he will be. Simple
Can
as
I
that.
say
If
one
he's
thing
not,
about
then
Judge?
we're screwed.
One thing that I'm kind of like intrigued by, and if there's any fans of other teams, like let me know in the comments. But we see Yordan Alvarez come up to the plate, right? Who's a very, very good hitter, but still not as good as Aaron Judge, slightly below. But we view him as like one of the most intimidating presence in the batter's box. Do other teams view Aaron Judge as such? Because
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
if they
I
view
say
him
100%.
as
The main difference right
intimidating.
now is it's Yordan is hot, Judge is not. Like when
No, I
Judge
think
is
there's like a
going,
different aura.
I don't
I
see. I
think
mean,
Judge is
dude,
like
think
still
back
like a
to
nice guy at the plate, and like Yordan is like, I'm walking
oh,
in the
maybe
batter's
that
box.
stuff. I
You know
don't
what
think
I
that
mean?
really matters though. I mean, but like in terms of like what I consider to be like intimidation factor from just the power, like think back to just those stretches Judge would go on where it felt like every single at bat he was hitting a home run.
No, but I know how we view him, but I'm curious as like how opposing teams, fan bases view him.
Well, I mean,
You
just
know
think
what I
the
mean?
last 2 weeks of the season, how much he was getting intentionally walked.
Sure. I know, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like, Yordan Alvarez is intimidating, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and clearly the Yankees don't want to pitch to him. So, I just kind of like,
Actually, I thought they handled him very well tonight.
I do too.
Alvarez.
That was one of the few.
Yeah, Altuve too. I mean, I don't think Altuve, did he get a hit yet?
No. But can I address one more thing regarding that? Chas McCormick has an identical swing to Jose Altuve. There's been a couple times tonight where I was watching the game and I saw his swing. I was like, that's literally Altuve, bro.
I low-key think I may have
that?
thought the same thing. If I'm remembering correctly, my thought process from earlier in the night, I think I actually may have thought that was Altuve that went deep before.
Dude, it's really, really weird. I don't know if like you could put like a side by side or something, but it's scary how identical the swings are.
You want me to put in unnecessary B-roll of an Astros home run after the Yankees just fucking lost ALCS game 1?
What if I find you the footage?
No. You want to edit tonight's episode? I'll send you the premiere file. I'm honestly, I'll be straight up. I'm like, there's just gonna be like our faces are gonna go in the box. I'll get a little picture of Judge, and I'll say Yankees lose ALCS game 1. Upload it, and that's that.
Let me know in the comments what you guys think.
This is worst episode. This is flu game episode for me. If like the outcome of the flu game wasn't good, it's like no, like I am properly responding to a flu right now, which is Yankees loss. I'm fucking miserable, but it's all good.
It's okay.
Seriously, because I said Yankees in 7, and I would have predicted the Yankees lost tonight, which is fine. It's just a little more frustrating when they go up 1-0 on Verlander and have second and third, And yeah, overall, shout out Tyone. I think he pitched well tonight. Offense needs to be better. Judge needs to be better. Stanton had a good game, by the way. Rizzo continues his good postseason, especially, dude, he's so locked down over at first. And not even just talking about like, diving plays, because that's not exactly a specialty, but the confidence I have when, you have arms like IKF and even that bad throw that Peraza made.
Yeah.
You just know if it's in relative range, if it's possible to be caught and keep your foot on the bag as first baseman, Rizzo's your guy. Like he'll make the play. Good game by Rizzo. Good series or postseason by Rizzo. I don't know. Can I spit out my overall thoughts here? Yankees in 7. They're going to win game 2. And then we're going to go back just as originally planned with momentum on our side this time. 1-1, home field advantage back in our favor.
But let me say this. Like that's the optimistic point of view. But there is a chance that the Yankees do lose game 2. And in that chance where they do lose game 2, then I think that
I'll be concerned
we're gonna
then.
start being concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Because
sure.
once again,
So
this is the same way as ALDS game 2 was. Like, ideally, with the way I see this going, this is just going to be a random loss, and we won't be as miserable as we are right now about it.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see then.
All right, yo. Well, that's going to do this episode. Apologies for my shitty episode. Pat, you carried today. You're the man. You're the GOAT. See you guys next time. Hopefully, we're in a better mood. I think we will be. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Blow up Minute Maid Park. What?
What?